Hey, welcome to another episode of Electrical Theology Esoteric Life Coaching. I am your host, Charles. Thank you for joining me. Now, I did a reading earlier, a tarot reading earlier, because this is Tuesdays and we normally do a teachable tarot, help you understand the tarot and the ins and outs of tarot, what tarot is, and it's basically just you tuning into your internal self, your internal frequencies, and we'll say we have 7 of them: red through violet, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, or Roy G. Biv as we learned it in school. But each one of these are frequencies. Each one of these are chakras within the body. It's the 7 body systems. It's all the 7s in the esoteric world and all the 7s within the biblical world. It's a 7s. And why 7s are important? Because it's 7 frequencies that us humans can operate off of, which is red through violet, or the visible light spectrum, which also is electromagnetism. Now, I did a reading earlier, but for whatever reason, the video or my camera setup didn't record it. So I did an entire reading, went to go record it, or went to go put it on the computer and edit it, and then just only about 3 seconds showed up. So apparently you weren't meant to hear that reading. And it was a good reading because we have a ton of cards here that we did it. But I'm going to go ahead and do a new reading. And then we'll see. The last reading was simply about relationships and showing the ways in which I do it. So let's just sort of put this deck up for now. So y'all, for whatever reason, and when you do readings, and this is a teachable moment, that when you do a reading and something's just not right or it's just not feeling right, now the reading felt great. It had a lot of insightful information. But for whatever the reason, it didn't need to be shared with y'all today, right? But just know that you're not alone. The essence was that you're not alone, you're attached to something, and it's time to move on, right? And that's a pretty simple explanation of it, but it was pretty detailed. So I'm like, oh, that was a good one. I really liked that one. And then it didn't show up, so it's just however it is, it's supposed to be. And as a reader, and you have clients in front of you, or you're reading yourself, and something's just not right with it, or it's just not clicking, then you may need to sit back, re-clear your stuff, or that reading may have just been for you, and you had to move on. So let's get on with this today. So what I'm going to do is, what I normally do is do a trinity of sort with the oracle cards. And this could be any deck. And what I'm going to do is lay out a physical, mental, spiritual, or a health, wealth, love. I determine this before I even do the reading, or when that client comes to me, I'll ask them, what is it you want to know? Why are you here today? Or any questions like that. And to get a feel for what they want. Now, if they just show up and say, I don't know, just show me what comes up. Great. Well, then you can determine what it is that you want to come up. And so what I can do is I'll do a trinity. It can be past, present, future, health, wealth, love, whatever. But today, just for our examples, I'm going to lay out 3 oracle cards: a health, a wealth, and a love, and see what comes about that. And then as we lay those cards down, then we're going to give 2 rows below that on each one, if it calls for. And the reason we do that is just to get more information, and each row represents a transmission, how we are transmitting, and that way you know how you're receiving. So whatever you're receiving on this life, we can look at what's being transmitted. Or, in one sense, we can say that it's the divines, the ancestors, or Earth, right? The 3 different ships, and how we relate to those ships, right? So let's go ahead. We get the thinking man in reverse. We get all tied up upside down, and then we get the world upside down. Now, when we get cards in reverse, it can mean that the energy is just in the pattern of which it's coming in. So the thinking man is great because we're not thinking. What's the opposite of thinking? The heart, right? Then we get all tied up, which is in reverse, which means if it's upside down, then we're not tied up, right? Because this person's all tied up. But it's reversed, so we're untied. So we're with their heart, we're untied from the world, because the world card's upside down. Now, to make a simple sentence is that because I'm not thinking, I'm not all tied up with my thoughts, and therefore I'm not attached to the world, or the world, what's going on with the world and our earth right now. I'm not all tied up with what's happening, right? Because I don't need to think about it because it's not mine in that essence, right? It's how the news media wants to present it to you. So I'm not attached or tied up to any of that information. Now, we want to know more information about any of these three, so we could say health, wealth, love, or physical, mental, spiritual, past, present, future. And I'm going to get more information about being all tied up. So I'm going to use just another deck and then see what it is that we freed ourselves from, or where within the world do we need to pay more attention. Whatever questions pop up into your head, again, questions requesting ion or energy, right, from the divines. And in one essence, this reading is pretty simple because what you were thinking about and was tying you up in knots about what's going on in the world is done. So in essence, this reading's done. You know what? And because of that, I'm just going to go ahead and start another reading because that one was pretty simple. So let's sort of get a more in-depth one of what's going on with us today, right? And again, you can tap into the 7 frequencies. Do I want to know about what's happening in red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, or violet? Because in one sense, this is frequencies. So your lower frequencies, your root chakra, your second chakra family, your third chakra about you, fourth chakra about your heart, or your life's passion, businesses. It could be about fifth chakra, communicating who you are from the heart. It seems that everything interrupting. I thought I had my phone off and it started ringing. So a lot of energies. There's something trying to come in or something trying to disrupt us, right? Which that last one says, you know what, we're not attached, we're not getting tied up with that. We're not getting caught up in that stuff, right? So let's start this again, see what we can come up with. So we get action. We get fifth chakra. We were just talking about fifth chakra. And then envy is in reverse. So we're not envious of what someone else has, right? We have the fifth chakra and then action. So we can put a nice little sentence together that the fifth chakra, being the throat chakra, how you communicate, is that your communication is not envious or trying to be like anyone else, and so therefore your action's going forward. You're able to go forward in life. And so this is about speaking your truth. And if I want to know more about the truth and what action I need to do about taking my truth, which is more, let's see where our life is going. What actions? It says that we got actions and we're moving forward, and it has to do about our communication. And this could be YouTube, podcasting, whatever this is, talking, writing books, whatever. So let's go ahead and see what we get. So we're going to start with the fifth chakra card. And we're going to throw three rows of 2 underneath that, one transmitting, one receiving. Immediately we get the Knight of Pentacles, and then we get Justice. Right? Justice is Libra, which is Venus, which is love, right? Which is communicating, right? Or we want to get into communicating love. And the Knight of Pentacles is one, we can look at it as security. You're confident in what you're talking about. You're becoming more confident, and this confidence is going to lead to making money, right? Or bringing income for you by speaking your truth. Again, that speaking your truth is sort of old, but it's you speaking who you are within and bringing the esoteric to the exoteric, right? So let's see what else we get. And so so we get the four of swords, and we get the 9 of Pentacles. And again, 9 of Pentacles is a great card. It's just all about you have a lot of money coming in. 9 of Pentacles, like 10 of Pentacles, it's not yet 10, right? The full brunt hasn't come in, but the 9 of Pentacles is more like stability. 10 is like an inheritance, and you get a good chunk of change. 9 is about creating stability, and it's time to come out and do this now. It's not. 4 of Swords is about resting, contemplating, right? You're done contemplating, so it's time to take action, and that's why we have this action card, because it's saying it's time to take action. And we need to start taking action. What that means is speaking our own unique brand. Right? I have my phrases that speak your brand. And that's what the podcasts are about. When you go listen to my podcast, links are in the description, or go to buzzsprout.com and you can look up my electrical theology and you'll see all my podcasts there. And we go in depth in that in a whole supernatural kind of way. But right now, the justice is speaking from the heart. It's about balance in one way, right? It is that you've gone through something within your life that had you not speaking, and now you're speaking up about it. Now this could be a cause, or this could just be you finally saying, you know what, I'm an intuitive, I'm an empath, and I've just been quiet, and I've been small time, and everyone tells me that it's just the devil's working in you or whatever, and then you're like, no, this is something divine, and I need to share this with the world. And so those are the people I help in life and do readings for and consult with, is to help them get and create their own brand. Right? So this is saying create your own brand. It'll create stability in your life. Even though everyone around you may think not, it will create stability around you. Right? So we're done resting, we're done thinking in one sense, and it's time to come out there. Now it may be a little stressful because like anything new, you just got to learn the ropes. And that's what this today is about, is teaching you the ropes of how to read and how to get an idea of what's coming. So we get the Four of Wands, and then we get, again, the Page of Pentacles, more Pentacles. So you will be new at making this money, right? But it's going to be a good, stable life income, right? I'll be surprised if we didn't get the 10, because that's all Pentacles here. And then we get the 4. So this is going to help with your family stability, right? This is going to give you that stability that you've been looking for. And then it's going to give you the creative stability, but it's also going to give you the financial stability that you've been looking for, right? And it's time to take action on that. Now, because we're new at this, we want to sort of see what actions over here that we can take. Right? We know that we got to take action. We know that we got to speak our mind. It's going to be a little rough at the start because it's new, like anything, right? It's like working out after a long time. Your muscles are going to be sore. It's sort of just, you're going to be sore because you may not know how to operate a camera. You may not know how to access YouTube or get, to be a influencer, right? So you have to learn all that stuff. That's not hard. I mean, you can make it hard, but it's just learning, right? You can always say, well, I'm not a good learner. Rephrase that, reframe that, and say, I'm willing to learn. It's going to be a joy to learn. You see, you got to reframe that, and that's what this is about. Envy is even saying you're not good at something is envying other people, because you're comparing yourself to other people and saying, oh, I'm not good enough. Does that make sense? So who are you comparing yourself to? If there's no one else on there, then you're the best. Right? If you're the only one on the island, you're the best at what you do. Right? Because there's no one else to compare with. So it's in your framing of your mind of how you want to be. So immediately we get the High Priestess, and it's upside down. So maybe you haven't been inspired lately, right? Your action's been uninspired. Why? Because you're not speaking your uniqueness, right? You're speaking other people's stuff. You're a good speaker maybe, but you're just not excited. I was on a morning show on a radio, and I was doing readings, different type of reading, car readings, tow readings, different stuff like that. And one of the DJs in the morning said, okay, read my toes. So I read her toes, right? I know it sounds weird, but you can read anything in life, right? It's just a mirror of how we're creating what we're around. Like oceans create waves coming in, you can see them in the sand, right? And then you can interpret the sand, was that wave strong or weak, right? It's not really science. I mean, it is science in one way, but it's not supernatural really in another. It's just being aware of patterns. So anyway, so I read her toes for her, and I said, well, you're in the right arena, right, but the wrong sport. And she's like, what do you mean by that? I said, you love communicating, you're a great communicator, but doing morning shows is not your gig. You want to go national, right? This is local. I appreciate y'all having me on this local channel, but you want national. National is where the big money is, right? Working for a small town, if you will, it may be 40, 50, 60, 90 grand, whatever that station pays you, but national is millions, right? And that's what I'm getting here in this reading, is that when you're ready to step in, right, look at what your arena is. You're in the right stadium, but you're not playing the right sport for you. And that right sport is being your own sport, creating your own sport, right? Create a whole new sport. Somebody created football, somebody created soccer, somebody created basketball. Be this person that creates this whole new way. Right? And again, we get 6 of Pentacles. So we're getting all Pentacles here. This is all about you speaking up, and you're going to make a ton of money at this, guys. We will have to learn some stuff about managing money. So if you're not a good manager of money, I would either find someone who you have confidence in, or start learning about balancing your own checkbook, right? And not just giving your money away because someone says someone can do something, right? Research. Again, this is what the work's going to do. Is you got to. The Page of Pentacles is about going out there and doing your work. You got to learn the ropes, right? And learning the ropes doesn't mean that you're not going to get ripped off, right? Because there's always someone. That's their livelihood, is to rip other people off. That's how they make a living, right? You can look at that however you want. Now the Magician comes in, and the Magician's upside down. Now the Magician's the first card after the Fool. So we got the World, the Fool, and then we go into the Magician. The Magician is, again, you have to learn new tools. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to learn new stuff. The Magician is, because it's reversed, you haven't learned those. You haven't learned them, or there's new stuff you have to learn. The old cycle, you learn some stuff. You may have been a great speaker, but now it's about speaking your unique brand. And so, have you spoken your unique brand to the public? Right? There's more there to that Magician we'll get into, but I want to see. So 9 of Wands is you're exhausted. You've been doing things the old way. And this is what we've been saying. You're in a small pond, you're ready to go to the big one, but you're going to be instead of being the big fish in the small pond, you're going to be the small fish in the big pond. Right? Or the big river, or the big ocean, however you want to put that. So you've tried a bunch of stuff, but you're tired. You know, it hasn't gotten you anywhere. Because the information you had was good, but was good. It's no longer valid. It's about getting new information, right? There's still something about that Magician. I got to read more into that. I'm trying to pick up on what that may be. Is that, okay, it could be that you do have these tools already. You don't need to learn them because it's reversed in one sense. You've already got it, right? But I don't see, we do have the High Priestess, because it's the Magician and the High Priestess. But the High Priestess is in reverse. That means the Magician's in reverse. That means the Fool is in reverse, right? Which means that somewhere there's in the world, we're still in an old world. We're still doing small radio when we want to do big radio, right? So yeah, you have all the tools that it takes to be that, but now it's about stepping out and doing it for yourself and creating your own team and your own rules, right? Then we get 5 of Cups, which just that tells me right there you've tried a bunch of different things and it didn't work out, but you're still attached maybe to the old ways, right? You're not envious of what somebody has, like our card had before, envy. Is that you're just ready to do your own stuff, but you got to step out there and do your own stuff. And then we get the Sun. So again, we're going in reverse in one sense. What do I mean by that? We have the High Priestess upside down. We have the Magician upside down. We haven't gotten the Fool, but you are the Fool within this reading. And then we go back one more, and that's the World. The World is the last card, right? So we're still in the old cycle. You're about to finish up. You're done with that old cycle. Does that make sense? You're done with the old cycle. And so it's just a matter of you taking action, right? And speaking the truth. Your truth, whatever that is. I know that's sort of cliche, you know, because truth is arbitrary, it's speculative, it's relative, right? So what I'm saying is just being you, right? Who are you all day long? And just speaking you, because you love speaking, right? You love creating. And this creation, I'm going to get more information. I'm going to get more information on the 4 of Swords upside down, because there's a retirement here. There's a retirement from speaking. You've taken a break from speaking, right? So we get the Emperor. We get the Star. We get the 2 of Pentacles. And we get the King of Swords. Alright, so this tells me that the Emperor is that next to the Star is that you want to be a shining star, right? A dominant star, a big star, right? The King is dominance, the Star is bright. So you want to be a dominant, bright star, right? And you have a choice right now. Stay where you're at or move. Go, and your next choice means moving from where you're at, moving from the business, or more likely moving away from. And the King of Swords is about, you're thinking about moving, and you're going to have to make a dominant choice here. You're going to have to say, hey, I'm ready to move, right? You got the confidence. There's no envy. It's not about anyone else but you. It's just about taking that step. And the King of Swords says, hey, I'm ready. You know, this dude's confidence, right? It's your inner dominance. And so it's ready to move on, right? I see Saturn in here, and a few other astrological stuff. Again, I'm not based on the astrology too much for this reading. We can get into astrology in other readings, but I'm definitely seeing a bunch of the zodiacs in here. So just right now we have a new moon in Capricorn coming in, I think the 21st of December, which means don't wait for the New Year's to do your stuff. Do it now. This change has to happen before the New Year's. So when the New Year does come around, you're already doing your new stuff, right? Don't wait till making the decision on the 1st, right? Your New Year's resolution. Do it now, and then that way, come the New Year, you've already moved. You're moving. There's a movement coming, right? Because this new career is going to take you from your home, or maybe from where you've been comfortable for a while. So there's actually a physical move coming in, or a physical move from where you're at, and a physical move to another state, or another country, or another town, or something. Right? So this is how we were doing the reading. So we just laid out 3 cards. We had our action, 5th chakra, and envy. And then we just read underneath those cards what we wanted more information. I wanted to know how I'm transmitting and how I'm receiving. So it gives me an idea of what my next action step is. So we see that our next action step is go ahead and make the choice. Right now is making the choice, right? Under this new moon, right, Capricorn, it's making the decisions. This is whatever decisions you put in motion right now up to the 21st are going to come true. Right? So make a decision. You don't necessarily have to make the action steps yet, but you do have to make an action thought step. All right, guys, appreciate it. Love you. Like, subscribe, all that. Share this with someone you like. If you got something out of it that will resonate with you, leave me a comment, let me know, and then that way we'll see you and bring more information to you tomorrow. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.